Let's have green tea for today. And once again, welcome for week 7 for General Biology 1. For this presentation, we will be talking primarily about ADP, ATP cycle, which is the lesson titled on your module, and basically just focus of an overview because there are so much technicalities with ADP and ATP. But first, let's just go through where we are right now on our lesson. So I'll be showing you the budget of work, and technically we are now on the designed topic for quarter 2, and I'm very happy to say that. Okay, so I hope you could see it, and let me get my ball pen, my vanishing pen. I hope. Let me just go check on my vanishing pen. Let's go. Okay, so as you could see, which is okay. So we are done with week 6, October 28 to November 1, and we are now on uh, week 7, which is for the competency explaining coupled reaction about ATP and ADP. But when you look at your uh, when your budget of work, I only intend to finish up to this topic, which is about light reactions. That's because I would give you at least a week to um, have a pause or a view, and prepare ourselves with the exam, and go through the requirements both for basically for practical research 2 and general biology 1. So as you could see in here, we may or may not include week 9, because there are going to be a bit of a special topic for week 8, and that is going to be about uh, light absorption and reflection of light prior to talking about chlorophyll. Okay, let me stop share. And there are several other topics that we can not reach anymore. Okay, so I will leave this to you because, of course, it's all in your modules. Apologies for that. Okay, like I said, for this presentation will focus on ADP and ATP cycles. So let's go now to your module. So what is ATP ADP cycle? Okay, just move this. Okay, so I hope you could see it. ATP ADP cycle. And there is actually a suggested activity in here. Uh, Primarily, we do not need to make a wine on this one, but we're just gonna show you, or I can just show you of on how to do a fermentation setup, but not basically fermentation, and what would happen during fermentation. That is up to you. For that one, I would leave that to you because we're close to examination. If you would like to do it, we can do it. If not, then for the experiment, if you wish to do it, we're going to be needing yeast and just sugar and balloon. Okay, and I hope it's going to be fun for you if we are going to be doing it. So what is ATP? Okay, ATP is the adenosine triphosphate. Take note, it is triphosphate. Tri stands for one, two, and three. Energy currency. Oh, sir, how is that being used throughout the cell? Sir, I thought it is glucose. Okay. Glucose, if we are talking about um, animals, of course, because automatic, if we have we're eating, we take in glucose. That's for animals. But what about plants? Are plants also using glucose, or are they using a different source? But if we talk about plants, automatic, it would come to you that they are using light for energy. And I wish to establish that. Okay? So, ang ATP sa animal cells lang ba? Or does it include also plant cell? So, I need to stop on this one. No? Please bear on that question again. ATP para lang ba ni sa animal cells or animals? Or will this include also plants? Okay, let me stop share and go to another site. And that is national, no less than National Geographic, which basically talks about photosynthesis. O, tananawa, sir. O, photosynthesis, sunlight malagi na. Okay? Now, anong ATP man? We know that with photosynthesis, plants would produce, uh, would use sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. Water and carbon dioxide is basically the raw material with the aid of sunlight as a source of energy to create oxygen and our favorite form of sugar. Okay, let's scroll down. Okay, we will be talking about the photosynthesis after ATP and ADP cycle. Okay, chlorophyll. But there are two reactions for photosynthesis. Okay, so let's go slowly on this. Let's make it bigger. Bigger, bigger. Light dependent reaction, and there is light independent reaction. While there are many steps behind the process of photosynthesis, it can be broken down into two major. That's a two one. The light, okay, light, what are they using? Takes place within the thylakoid and requires a steady stream of sunlight, hence the use of energy, name light dependent. Okay. The chlorophyll, which is the green pigment, absorbs energy from the light waves, which is converted into the ara. Okay. Hala. Ninggawas na, no? Para makakonvert kuno sila og chemical energy. Ang form nila is ATP and ADP. Okay, the light independent stage, also known as a Calvin cycle. We cannot go through Calvin cycle then. The space between the member and the chloroplast then does not require light, hence the name light independent. During this stage, energy from the ATP molecules is used to assemble. Okay. So both plants and animals would basically use ATP. However, mostly for animals, we would use ATP. Okay? Kay ang plants would have, could use sunlight or light as a source of energy. Let me stop share. So for this, basically, it would somehow focus on how animals would consume or use ATP. Okay? ATP is composed of phosphate group, ribose. Okay, this is how it looks like, and there are technicalities. We will not go through this chemical composition anymore. So just very simply, duha na siya, no? Okay, I hope you could see it. Let me make it smaller. Kanina kay biga, karon kay smaller. Okay, so ADP. Okay, BAM. It requires energy, and you could even see in here that there is food oxid electrons harvested from food molecules. Okay, ang ATP karon. Okay, dungagan o another phosphate. Now ADP is adenosine diphosphate. Dungagan og another phosphate with the help of energy to make it ATP. Okay, i-consume na po, releasing energy, ma-release. Okay, mabalik na po siya og ATP. Hence the term ATP, ADP cycle. It is a recycling process. Okay, let's go with few of the technicalities about that and definition. Okay, this is how ATP is described. Ribose, nitrogen, adenine, and a chain of pila kabok phosphate. That's the key. Okay, tulo na siya kabok. Okay, what does it do? Okay, mediates most energy coupling cells. Hala, unsa nang couple? Isa or duha? Duha, na? Okay, that's the key term in there, which will be shown later on. Okay, power cellular work. Okay, there are tulo ka work. Chemical, ha, na transport. Okay, and mechanical. And coming from that one, mao ni kunoy trabaho. Okay, three kinds of work, trabaho sa cell. Okay, what is a chemical? To synthesis of polymers from monomers. Okay, transport, pumping of substances across the membranes. We know that already. And then naapoy mechanical, no? Same sa to para maka-lihok-lihok po ta. Okay, in this, ang ilang example dire kay beating of cilia. And here goes, ato ani, contraction of muscles. Okay, going down. Okay, for ATP, na siya ay it would always require hydrolysis. Hydro, meaning magkinahanglan, tubig. Pareha po sa ito, process of breaking down bonds between the phosphate. I-release tong isa. Mo na po siyang dye. Okay? Just the cycle of removing and releasing the phosphate. One phosphate. One water molecules breaks the terminal phosphate bond. So, di rin niyo makita ang function sa tubig, no? Okay. This is the chemical symbol. Abbreviated is just P. Leaves is leaves ATP. Energy released. Okay. So, dire na siya. Okay. There. Inorganic plus ADP of energy. And here comes your water, a simple diagram. Okay. This is how hydrolysis of ATP perform no. Na ako na sila i-prove. Releases its energy in the surrounding water. Muinit ko no. Okay, that's just a basic proof. Dili na kayo tamo focus. And this is just an illustration of the trabaho of ATP na? For mechanical, for transport, and chemical work. Now, it is said to be a cycle. Okay, ATP is a renewable addition of phosphate. Ana lang, we know that already. But here comes. If you could remember the coupling, catabolism. Okay, which is called what? Exergonic. Provides free energy to phosphorylate ADP. Another one, it couples the cell's energy leading process, exergonic, to energy consuming process of energy. This is the coupling idea now. Exergonic and endergonic. Kana lang ang ato ang i-focus lang, no? And let's see what happens with exer and endergonic. Here is another picture. Okay. Energy from catabolism. Okay. Exergonic energy. Okay. ATP synthesis from ADP plus requires, okay, tubig. Okay. Energy release, catabolism, exergonic, and energy is consumed. Okay. Energy released by breakdown reactions in catabolism cell is used to phosphorylate ADP. That's the term. Phosphorylate is just breaking down and regenerating ATP. The chemical potential stored in the ATP drives most cellular, no? That, as mentioned, that is the currency for the energy in cells. Okay. Ubos ani, gisumpayan dayon og chlorophyll. So we will stop in there, and then this will be another discussion for basically for plants, no? So mostly this is the overview of what's going on with the ATP ADP cycle. And then let's go now with our video, and we will continue with uh, importance of chlorophyll and other pigments on the next presentation. Okay, so that is the cycle of ATP and ADP cycle and the terminologies that I just mentioned. Okay, mao lang na siya. Let's go now with our video para mas masabtan nato. Okay, sorry. Let me do that again and make sure that I am sharing the sound. Could I be a background? Would you like me to be like that? Ooh, look at me. I am in the middle.
When you're driving a car across the country, it's important to stop and fill the car up with gas every so often.
Okay, that is just the similarity or the analogy. No? Of course, we all need energy to do work.
In order to complete the journey, cars use fuel as energy. The fuel that provides energy for the human body is called adenosine triphosphate.
Okay, so the reference now is to the human body, okay, for the animal cells.
Or ATP. In order to make ATP, the cells in our body use a process called cellular respiration.
Okay, cellular. This is the level of the cells, of course. Respiration. What could you think about respiration? Respiration. Respiratory. Ginawa. Okay.
Gasoline that's used in cars starts out as oil. The process of producing gasoline from oil is called refinement. In that same way, ATP, the energy in the human body, is first refined from organic molecules.
Okay. Na, gikan na sa ato ang pagkaon.
Which are molecules that contain carbon atoms. Examples of organic molecules that are broken down to form ATP are things like glucose, lipids, and proteins.
Okay, what was mentioned? Glucose, lipids, and proteins. Carbohydrates, fats, and proteins.
So how exactly is glucose used to produce ATP?
Okay, in particular, just a look into glucose, okay? Which we were taught is our primary source of energy.
Well, the process has 3 steps. The first step of cellular respiration, glycolysis, starts with a single glucose molecule. Glycolysis takes place.
Okay, so cellular respiration na ay tulo ka stages, na? So this is really good because it gives you an overview of what's going on. We cannot go to the what do you call this? The discussion more on this three systems or cycles.
In the cytoplasm, where glucose is broken into 2.
Okay, asa mahitabo ang glycolysis in the cytoplasm?
3 carbon molecules called pyruvate.
Okay, I hope that's clear.
This portion of cellular respiration produces 2 ATP.
So sa glycolysis lang, duha lang ka ATP ang ma-produce. Okay? Another cycle.
Next, the Krebs cycle of cell respiration requires oxygen. If oxygen is present,
Okay, na? So here goes your respiration, which requires oxygen to break down the food molecules.
pyruvate is taken to the inner membrane of mitochondria and broken down.
Okay, money production na. This is your powerhouse. Yan ay mag-produce of energy. Particular unsang energy, ATP.
The Krebs cycle stores high energy electrons and produces 2 ATP.
Oh, pila ra. Glycolysis duha, ang Krebs cycle duha ra po.
The grand finale of cellular respiration is called the electron transport chain.
Okay, electron transport chain.
Electrons that have been produced by the breakdown of glucose and stored in molecules called electron acceptors are used along with oxygen we breathe in to produce 32 ATP and water.
Okay, water ko na. So, nagamit pa ng tubig, no? Same with, as mentioned, no? Hydrolysis. Magamit ko siya o pag-breakdown sa inyong ATP.
For every glucose molecule, the process of cellular respiration produces about 36 ATP molecules that can be used for
Okay, total 30, 36.
energy inside of cells.
Okay, so just very briefly of how ATP was produced. Let me stop share and I hope we are all good with ATP and ADP cycle. Okay, happy learning.